Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Uncle Frank, and this is another Sunday-esque. I'm recording this on Saturday, but you guys will see it Sunday. Uh, Update slash check-in video for everyone who's been curious about what's been going on behind the scenes with the channel. And I know it's been a few days, probably like 3 or 4 days for you guys since I last updated a video. I've been sort of busy, and I've also been in kind of a slump for content creation, not just for the Frank channel, but for the Lore Seeker channel as well. And also, I was originally debating even making this video earlier today because there's not a lot going on right now that I feel like is worth discussing. You know, not a lot that I felt like would be interesting to you guys. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, if I skip it, I'm going to skip it a second time and a third time, then eventually I'll just forget to do it all together. So there was that to consider. There was the angle of putting content on the channel thing to consider, which, you know, content is good. But there's also the idea behind these videos in the first place. It's not necessarily just to talk about something to talk about it, but just to get in the groove of sitting down for a while and chatting about whatever comes to mind. Whether or not it's productive, I think, is kind of up in the air. And, you know, I also have to think about the fact that that is a very loud truck. I have to think about the fact that I'm not exactly the best person when it comes to figuring out what to talk about with people. It's been something I've been bad at since I was a kid. You know, if I'm familiar enough with you as a person, I can guess pretty easily what our conversation topics should be. But if I don't know you all that well, or if you're a complete stranger, which most of you are to me, I'm going to be really bad at guessing what's worth discussing. And that's just going to be a consequence of my life until the day I die, I suppose. But there are some light things to bring up throughout the week. I had a personal best for squats, which is, you know, a nice little accomplishment there. Still unhealthy as hell. And even today, I ate a bunch of junk food that I really shouldn't have, and I feel sorry about it after the fact. But when you're in the moment eating it, you know, you give in to your sins very easily in the moment. Besides that, I've just been working on still sorting that giant Yu-Gi-Oh pile that I got like a week ago. I'm about halfway through the sorting process. Not all of it's going to get added to TCG Player. A lot of it is, but not all of it. I'm the kind of person who I don't like worrying about condition too much, so if I look at a card and it doesn't look near mint, I don't even bother adding it to the inventory. If I can like tell at a glance that it's not near mint, I don't worry about it. It goes into a separate box, and for Magic, it usually gets donated after a certain threshold, but for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, I like selling it as just a bulk lot. But now it occurs to me that I haven't thought about any Yu-Gi-Oh based charities for cards. I should look into that at some point. That might be worth my time. Other than that, I've been slowly working on, you know, adding to my pile of cheap booster boxes, especially for Yu-Gi-Oh! Ancient Guardians. I don't know what else is over there. Some Ancient Guardians boxes arrived this week. Some boxes for other sets too, but I don't remember their names right now, and I can't see them that well from like they're right over there. And I can't make out the labels. Curse my terrible eyesight. But I've been grabbing these boxes for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, as I said before, you know, boxes on a discounter is always a good thing. You know, you never know when the times will turn, and when Yu-Gi-Oh! Sets that were previously unloved might make a comeback. And maybe it never does, but you guys know me. You guys know what I'm all about. And I'm not the super wealthiest individual on the planet, so cheap boxes is always good. And speaking of cheap boxes, I also grabbed another trio of those gem boxes, the Chinese Pokemon that I discussed like a week or so ago. Really a fan of those, and I think that those do have good potential in the future. They were really cheap, too. They were cheaper than the first wave I bought, and I was surprised by that because the whole tariff situation with the Trumby in China and how the ratios change every 37 seconds, it seems, and all that jazz. So, yeah, nothing really crazy going on over there. Just been slowly adding more to the pile. I'm starting to put things up on the collector app. I'm learning more about the various ways you can track your collection. So that might be a video worth making at some point in the future. Just here's the collector app. Here's how to use it. But in all seriousness, it's it's just good to keep track of what you've got and where your collection is sitting at in terms of raw value, because you never know what might be worth letting go of one day. And just knowing what you have is always just good. Besides that, haven't picked up Pokemon cards of the week yet. I'm recording this Saturday, and I like to put those shorts out on Sundays, but I have not actually bought anything. Mostly because the weather's been terrible. I didn't want to, transport anything. It's been raining like the last 3 days. So tomorrow, I will probably run on down to one of the local game stores and just grab whatever I think strikes my fancy. I did see the one local game store had these, had a Pikachu and Eevee with a little, like a weird foiling on them. And I was like, oh, those can't be too expensive. They look fairly new. I was like, oh, how much are those? And they're like $50 each. I'm like, I don't know what they were from, but I was like, oh, neat little Pikachu, neat little Eevee. Those gotta be cheap. They weren't. They were not. But speaking in terms of content, on a previous video, someone had mentioned I should talk about what's on this shelf back here. And I thought about that for a bit. I was initially apprehensive about making that kind of video just because when it comes to the content to put on this channel, I like to put out content that I would consider watching. I don't want to make a video for you guys that I would never click on, that I would never even like consider watching. And I really don't like watching my $10,000 Yu-Gi-Oh! Showcase room, my giant Nintendo collection of games, all that jazz. I don't like those videos a whole lot just because either there's always, every time I have watched one, it's one of two things. Either one, you're just bragging about this huge expensive collection you have, and you're talking about how rich you are, and I don't like that. I don't need you to tell me how rich you are. I don't care. I'm poor. Leave me alone. But the other kind is they're showing off things that I don't think are worth showing off, and that's kind of like where I feel I would be. I don't think I have anything particularly noteworthy. So I was originally just gonna, not do a video like that, but then occurred to me that the reserve list video I put out not too long ago is going to be used to springboard into further discussions about the secondary market health of various card games and where money tends to flow to in those card games and where the backbone of their financial markets appear to be. It's a very important wording there. And just like how that one discussion video that could have just as easily have not been made will be used to make further videos, I figured I could use a video going an overview about the kind of games I play and collect could be used to discuss what I enjoy in video games and how various video games from my youth and my past have formed my opinion on the kind of games I enjoy and what I look for in video games. And there's a lot over here that I've had for a very long time that have been very formative to me. I mean, we've got... can I reach you? Yeah. Alright, this is Tales of Symphonia, okay? This is one of the games that got me into JRPGs. It's one of the games that made me love JRPGs. Tales of Symphonia alongside Disgaea, and finally given Final Fantasy like 7 a try. 9. So those are the ones. I was discussing it. I mentioned it before how highly I value Tales of Symphonia and how this is just such a great game. Well, I could have a whole video talking about why I like Tales of Symphonia and what it means to me and how I judge games based on it. So I think giving a general overview on what's up here on the shelf, let's put you back, might not be a bad idea, just to give you guys a good idea of what I like in general. And it also gets some of my biases out of the way too. Like, you ain't gonna find what's not over here. Do I have any? I was gonna say I don't have any Halo games, but there is indeed a Halo down there, for instance. Why do I have 2 copies of Dark Souls 2? Oh no. Those will be questions for later. But yeah, so at some point I may end up just doing a general overview on the shelf. There's a whole, I can see it now in the camera that there's a whole like extra layer of stuff up there that you guys can't even see. So yeah, that might be a video at some point. You know, my video game shelf and the kind of games that I like. So there's that to consider as well. And there's really not much else to go over. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been my weekly update. I am still alive. I am still making content. In fact, I'm recording another video right after this one for something neat that came up that I was thinking about earlier today. So if you guys want, that should be out Monday. See you guys later. Ciao.